This is the fascinating story of Mike and Angie's battle with cancer, a compelling interview with no holds barred.
Today. Got Mike and Angie Samuels, who I've known Mike for about 15 years, I think.
Yeah, that seems longer.
And Angie less, but it seems longer for Angie, definitely.
Well, I first met you when you had your other shop on the same road. I came in and you'd helped me with my migraines and gave me these herbs. I'm thinking, yeah, all right, well, okay. And I went away and they worked.
We're probably about the same time. It's probably about 15 shows. So Mike and Angie have kind of an incredible story. So like a lot of people who watch these know I talk about sport and this, that and the other, and I've got the YouTube channel doing all about supplements, but this is something a bit different. This story is quite unique, quite exceptional in terms of how it's led from August 22, I've just been told, and Mike and Angie have been nice enough to actually come and share their journey with you and me and anyone else who might be suffering or being diagnosed with cancer. I know it still is a taboo word with a lot of people, if you agree. Yeah. And I'd like just to have a very informal chat. I'm going to be, for once, standing back a little bit and listening to Mike and Angie chat about it. One question I have got for you guys, which I know a lot of people have messaged me with that question, was, well, there's two actually initially. What was the initial reaction when you were told that Mike had been diagnosed with cancer, the C word, and kind of what happened? What did you go through?
So for me, can't really explain it. I found out he got it. The doctor had rang him and said, "I booked an appointment for you today." And then he rang me and he said, "Oh, can you see anything on my records? Because I work for surgeries." And I said, "No, I can't." But I knew that he had cancer, but I couldn't tell him. It had to come from his GP. And I just found my sixth stubby. Really, at the Colton, they said you had sarcoidosis. They didn't even think it was cancer.
So there's no real serious symptoms or anything like that? Just a cough. Because that was the other main question, was what symptoms, did you get backache or?
Nah, it was just cough, constant for too long, perhaps a month.
Yeah, it's when we went away on holiday. We went to Cyprus for his 60th birthday, didn't we? And that's when I realised there was something not right.
Yeah.
He was, because he's very fit, a runner, and we're both the same. Go to the gym, look after ourselves. He was sweating so badly just because he was walking, and I know it was hot.
Yeah.
But it was very unusual, and that's when I said to him, when we go home, you really need to go to the doctors. That was actually taken out of my hands because we got back from holiday on the Tuesday, and on the Thursday, so at this point he was building, and he'd been doing our garden with Gareth, his business partner, and he did doing the garden, and he came in and he said, I don't feel that good. His son don't really want anything to eat. He sat down and he passed out in the chair. So I went into mode of taking blood pressure and things. So no, not blood pressure. No, I was taking his pulse. It was quite low. And then he came round again after about 5 minutes and he said, "Oh, what happened? I was asleep." I said, "No, you passed out. I need to ring 999. And he said, No, I'm fine. That's okay. So I gave him water and then I kept to check on him, and then 20 minutes later the same thing happened again. Go again, I checked his pulse. I need to drop to Ben. I then rang 999 and they said it'll send someone out, and it was 3.5 hours later they came out. Not their fault, I'm busy. They wanted him to go to hospital and he said no. I don't want to go to hospital. They checked him over and they said, what we think has happened is that your pulse and your blood pressure has dropped so low that it's made you pass out. So they agreed that if I could book an appointment for the next day through his GP, then he didn't have to go to hospital.
Yeah.
So I managed to log in and to surgery, and I booked the appointment for the next morning. Luckily, I can do that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people can.
Yeah.
But I booked the appointment for the next morning. We had the appointment, we went down to this GP, and she was lovely. And she did all these checks, and she said your blood pressure is very low. And we need to get you on some medication, which they do to let you walk hard. At this point, it was low. Yeah, at this point, it was low. But they wanted to start you on medication because the previous to that, it had been high. We'd been in the surgery, and it's been high. So, because I did some home blood pressure measurements, and it had been high. So when we went in the surgery, because you'd had the collapse, it had dropped. Anyway, they wanted to get you onto some medication, which they did. And then they said, we're going to send off for a scan, a chest x-ray. So you had that quite quickly. And then they said, this has come back, and we think it was sarcoidosis. I had a phone call from the GP. Nothing to worry about. It's not cancer.
Yeah.
It's sarcoidosis. What we're going to do now is let's get a scan and pay. So 2 weeks have gone by, 3 weeks have gone by, so I'm on the phone to the GP. What's going on? Where's his scan? Wait to GP. What, you've not heard yet? No, we've not heard yet. What's happening? So apparently the consultant had forgot to put it through as urgent.
Okay. So if you hadn't been pushing and pushing and pushing, it could have gone on. I have customers in the shop, and they're waiting months and months and months for simple things like physiotherapy or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cancer scares a different ballgame. And I know even like through when they had lockdown, no one could get seen for cancers or anything like that. But who are you, Mike? Because you're like me. If Angie wasn't in your life or Heather wasn't it, probably poorly lads. I'd be like, oh man, oh. Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of guys out there, I know for a fact, and they'll hate me for saying it, where there's a problem, they bury their head in the sand, and they don't want to get help. Even in this shop, I see so many men get dragged in by their girlfriends or partners because something's wrong. So it's just as well, I think you were there at the start by the sounds of it.
So you've had to push for everything.
Yeah.
Right at the very beginning. So yeah, I made push for this urgent CT scan. They rang him and they said, oh yeah, we booked you an appointment for 2 weeks. And I went, no. Sorry, that is not acceptable. So I'm referred to the secretary at the hospital. Not acceptable. He's been left. This needs to happen now. This was on the Thursday. He had an appointment on the Saturday for CT scan at Manchester Hospital. We had the results back on the Tuesday.
Wow, okay.
And he was seeing the doctor on the Tuesday afternoon. That was the 23rd of August.
And is that when they discovered the cancer?
Yeah, they said they weren't looking for it. They said, but we're really sorry, but you've got a tumour on your kidney. It's 11 centimetres. So they think it's cancer. So, of course, we were shocked because I was going down the gym. I was doing heavy work.
Yeah.
Felt all right, really.
Yeah.
So it was more shock.
I think that's one thing that I think, because I've known you personally for 15 years, you've always looked after yourself. Yeah. You've always taken the best supplements, your proteins and stuff. Mm. You've always been a runner, as long as I've known you. You're a builder, you're a man's man, you're an entertainer, a comedian, not a bad singer, I've heard. You're the kind of person that you think, yeah, I never get that.
No.
A million years. I mean, it doesn't happen to you, you know. If you're a heavy smoker, a heavy drinker, did nothing, you think maybe he's lived on pizzas and McDonald's.
Yeah.
But you don't. You have a healthy lifestyle, you look after yourself, and suddenly to see that, you think, God. Yeah. But it wasn't just the one cancer, was it? Yeah.
Well, the first thing you think of is how long have I got left? As soon as cancer is mentioned, you think, I'm going to die there. Because you think you're invaluable. Most people do. They think, oh, well, you know, I'll get to like 80, 90 or whatever. Hopefully I'll keep myself trim. Yeah. You know, I should live a fair old age, see some grandkids somewhere along the line. And then when suddenly that's like taken away and someone says you got cancer, the first thing you think of is how long I've got left, you know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't till then it all started, all the tests, and that's the bit where the mental strength sort of kicks in, because each time you have a scan, I had to do further investigation, and I had to go into hospital for a biopsy to check that all it was, that for definite, and that's of course when they found it had spread, you know, to my lungs. That's why they cough off.
Yeah.
And it spread to
Lymph nodes,
lymph node, liver, spine,
and your bone.
my bone. What the hell? Yeah.
Like, yeah. And it was then that was in the so that was in September, and then at the end of September he had a scan of his brain because they said we need to check if it spread to the brain, and it did spread to the brain, and they found that he had 2 metastases in the brain.
So I've lost count genuinely of how many cats. That's 6. Is that 6, 5 or 6? They found it.
Libby. Go on, I never really went into that. I just knew it was everywhere.
I mean, I've been known in life as the eternal optimist, so much so it sickens people. I actually get complained to about being too buoyant on my, because I should be a health shop, I should be serious. And we've always had a joke. I think when you came and told me, and it probably sounds sick to a lot, we ended up laughing about stuff at the end of it. Something like, at least he'll never beat me now in the gym or some. And
Well, we know that.
but that's what I mean is the character that you've got blows me away, because as optimistic as I always try and be in life, I think if I had that news where it's the lymph nodes and then it's into the bones and then the brain, I'd have given up then and there.
I think we had 2 days, because you asked at the beginning what was my reaction, and I rang my sister and cried to my sister for 15 minutes. She hadn't got a clue what I was trying for. Just listened to the end of the phone. And then I said to her, Mike's got cancer. And I said, well, I know, and I've got to meet him at the doctor's. And she said, pull yourself together, you can do this.
Yeah.
Do not tell him, just go and be with him. But he knew. He saw me walking up the road. He got out of the van with Gareth, and he said, it's not good, is it? And I said, I can't tell you. You need the GP to tell you.
Why not?
So I think we had 2 days of being, what the hell? What are we going to do? And then after those 2 days, and it had sunk in, I think it was like, okay, right, we've got to do this then.
Yeah.
Let's go kick its ass.
Well, it's a bit more like in terms of sort of bit of anger,
Yeah.
where you think, well, you know, I'm not ready for this. You know, but it's not my time. I'm far too young and good looking.
Yeah.
And talented.
Yeah.
And an athlete. I would be that.
Obviously. You can't buy that one. You have to earn that one, and you rightly did earn that one. That was the most honourable one I've ever given out.
Obviously sponsored.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that whole. I mean, we joke about you joke about it. We joke. We serious, Angie, which is the way it should be. You guys have, because I see you both protecting each other, which I think is, for me, behind that counter, and I see Angie being strong for everyone, and all the attention's on you, Mike, so I'm not taking anything away from it, obviously, because she had all the issues and fighting it. But I always look at people, and one day I said to Angie, you look after yourself, because without her, you're knackered, James is knackered, everyone around, because she's got to look after herself. And I could start seeing the strain on you, and I hope you don't mind me still, because I did tell you, I'm worrying about you as well. And I think that's sometimes another thing. I had a young guy come in the other day who I've worked with in the past, very young, 24, and he looked horrible, he looked shocked. And there was another gentleman here at the time, and he said, I just wanted to tell you, I've got, and he started crying. He said, I've just been told about cancer. He said, I don't want to talk about that, Mark. And knowing you now and what you guys have been through, I said, when you're ready to talk, come and have a chat, because I can tell you an amazing story about a friend of mine who had more than just one cancer. And in my years of experience in this, the people who do defeat it or win or whatever you want to do, overcome these objectives are the positive people. And I think it's the people that got positive people around them. There's only people I see go, oh, who are you? And suddenly it's this negativity of, I mean well, but it's like, oh, Mike, poor Michael, be about Mike. Whereas you wouldn't allow that.
No.
You got to a point where you wouldn't even call it cancer, which I thought was fascinating.
Inconvenience of our life. How dare this inconvenience come along? I think it's going to define us and create problems in our life. We've got too much to live for. We've got too much to do. We have holidays. We've got a motorbike to ride. It's not happening. So this is a blip in our life.
There's no discrimination. Age, sex, colour, doesn't matter. You know, it's a terrible thing.
Did you get to points, Mike, where you thought, I'm not going to be able to do this?
No, not yet.
Good.
No, well, as things progressed, like treatment started, because they say that cancer doesn't actually kill you; it's the treatment that kills you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I've treated this whole thing because I love boxing. I've treated it as a fight, as a boxing championship, 12 rounds. Each 3 months, you have a scan, you have treatment, and then each 3 months you find out who's winning, and who's lost a round, who's drawn one, and who's won, and then Angie's my trainer.
Yeah.
So it's all mental things that you put in the way, you know. So that way you don't look too far into the future. You just take each round as it comes.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the way that I've sort of approached the fight.
Do you think it might sound stupid to you guys, but obviously more for the people watching, do you think it's changed the way you look at life and your attitude towards life and problems in life that people see as negative?
Oh, absolutely. In my job, I'm a social prescriber with the NHS, and I help lots of people for all different things, whether it be anxiety, depression, finances, homeless, bereavement, elderly, isolated people. But there are sometimes people speak to me and I'm on the phone thinking, and that's your problem.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear mine?
Yeah.
Yes, it's changed the way I think about things.
Yeah.
The way I see things. I'm like, when you said I'm sort of always protecting him, I am like a lioness looking after a cub.
Yeah.
I know how I am like that now. I have become that. I am very protective. I am aware of that. It's made me realise that life is for living. Get on with it. Don't wait. Why are you waiting? What are you waiting for? Well, you know, I've got to propose to my girlfriend next year. Why next year? Do it now. Do it now, because next year is not promised to any of us. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us.
Yeah.
Get on with your life. Live it.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it took you 18 years. Was it 18 years? In order to 19 years to actually propose to the love of your life.
I had to make sure she was properly trained.
So there's
And because a parent, why don't worry life? I tell you.
So you get the several cancers and you're getting the treatment at the time. And you did hit a real down spell where I think we out of it, weren't you? You were I had to comment the word now.
So he had a brain bleed. So we started treatment on the 5th of October. He had stereostatic brain therapy, so the cancer in his brain. It's targeted therapy. He has to have a mask made. Had to go down to Devonford a couple of times. He had the mask made, which was horrific. Mike thought it was funny, take photographs of me. He thought it was hilarious to share with family and friends. We, however, didn't. Like we did.
I thought this is Hollywood. Stand on this one.
So that's what we did. Took photos of him wearing this mask. He had the treatments, and they did say at the time, his consultant said, you have to have it done, because he said, what are my options? And she said, there aren't any. You've got to have it done.
Well, she said there's three. She said you could have a seizure, you could have a brain bleed, you could die, or it may stop it. you know.
There were your choices. Guys.
Yeah, that was a choice. Yeah. Yeah. So I said, well, just have to go for it then.
Wow.
What else are you going to do? Just let the cancer grow, and let it beat you. No. So this is like round 1 now.
So we've had the treatment. We've had the brain treatments. This was in October the 5th.
Yeah.
And then November 9th, we started immunotherapy. I say it's we because it is a we. It's never been an I. It's just a we.
Yes.
So we started immunotherapy in November, and he was having double bouts of that in one sitting. That lasted for about 3 hours at a time, didn't it? Every 3 weeks. December the 28th, he was really not well. 27th of December. Which in a way, I should put to you. So he'd been away to his mum and dad's for Christmas, and we came back. And he wasn't one from dad's. He kept having headaches, taking a lot. But we put a day to sleep.
So when you proposed, that's that up there. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but yeah, I wasn't feeling well then, was he?
Well, I don't realise immunotherapy really made a journey. I mean, he has been poorly. I mean, you look at him there, people say, what's wrong with him? But there have been times when he's been really poorly. We've been up and down all night, changing beds, being sick.
Yeah.
Hot sweats, cold sweats. He has been really poor. The cough was just horrific. Just horrific. Making him sick.
Yeah.
You know, every time he was coughing. So yeah, we had been through it for a few months. And then December the 27th, he had this horrific headache, and he couldn't get rid of the headache. So I gave him paracetamol, didn't touch it. Early as the morning, I rang the Ricky Grant unit, and I said, look, he's got this headache. Can I give him morphine? I've got morphine. Yes, give him morphine. Go ahead, morphine. Didn't touch it.
the cancer patient talking.
Yeah. Didn't touch it. So then the next morning at 7 o'clock, so we hadn't slept at all. So he still went for like at 7 o'clock the next morning. I rang him again and I said, can I give him some more? Because he'd had some 5 days before, and they said yes. I gave him some more, and it knocked him out. He was asleep. But then I'd also emailed and said, look, I don't know what to do. He's got this really horrific headache. He's asleep at the moment, but it's not right.
Yeah.
So the cancer nurse rang me back and she said, can you get him here for 11 o'clock? So bear in mind, this is now 10 o'clock in the morning. He's asleep and he hasn't slept all night. So I said yes. So I had to go and get him out, wake him up, which took about 15, 20 minutes. I had to get him dressed. And at this point, he was 3.5 stone heavier than me.
Yeah.
So I had to get him down the stairs, and I thought he was going to fall on me because he just didn't know what he was doing, really. He was so tired.
Yeah.
Got him into the car, took him to Torbay, and I parked on the 20 minutes. It's at the top where you can just park and drop people off, park there. He wouldn't go in a wheelchair, refused. So we walked down to oncology, and I sat him in the chair, and he was very confused. And I had to explain that I'm going to go move the car, and I'll be back. So I ran, and the nurse was running after me, but she couldn't keep up with me.
Of course, we're an athlete as well.
So I went to move the car, ran back to oncology, and I could hear him being sick. So we went into the oncologist's room, and he started to feel unwell. And he said, take your jacket off and things. Was getting his jacket off and his jumper. And then the next thing I know, he collapsed. He was on the floor, and there was all these people running around me saying, we need a crash team now.
Christ.
I was watching all this. Then I was taken outside. And then from then on, Mike City remembers everything.
Right.
But all his observations say he was completely out of it, and he suffered a brain bleed. It was so severe that no one expected him to survive.
No.
Because people don't.
My father-in-law died of one. So, and my mum died of treatment for cancer. So I've done both of those. Yeah, absolutely. There's severity of it.
It made
Cringy listening to this, actually.
So he was in the hospital bed, And I stayed with him the whole time. Just stayed with him, didn't leave him. Eventually, we went up onto the A&E part. It's the only place they could put us. They put us there. At 6 o'clock that evening, he was still out of it completely. He didn't know I was there. I said to the nurse, I'm going to go home, have a shower and come back. And that's what I did. So I literally went home, shower, came back. And then I leant over them and I said, I'm back now. And I stroked his hair. And that's the first thing he said. I'm sorry, I'm crying now. First thing he said to me, I know, because I can smell you. Because he always buys my perfume. And he can smell my perfume. And I said to the nurse, I'm not leaving, I'm not going anywhere, I'm staying here. And she said, well, there's nowhere for you to stay. And I said, well, I'll sleep here, because I'm not leaving. And then at 11 o'clock that night, we had a bed upon the turner ward. And they took up on the turner ward and I slept in the chair rather than sleep. And at 1:20, I had an attack on my leg. Well, it was in. And he thought, I need the toilet. I don't want the nurse to take me. And I said, can you use a bed pan? He said, no, I want to go to the toilet. So I had to get a wheelchair and took it to the toilet. And that's how it went on during the course of the night. Kept waking up every so often to the toilet a few times. And then the next morning, it was 10:20. The consultant came round. She wasn't nice. She never nice from the beginning. She came round and she said, so what's happening, Mike? What have you been doing? And he was sort of a little bit, came to a little bit, and he was shouting to her. And I said, so what happens now? She went, well, I did tell you, no more treatment, that's it. Palliative care, nothing else we can do.
In the treated completely.
Nothing we can do.
Sorry, mate. That's provide.
Yeah.
That's bedside manner by the cells of it. Yeah. So you just gone through all of that before?
Yeah. When I was on my own, yeah, I was just there in this little room. There was 3 other people, beds around us, so there's other people there that heard this conversation.
So it wasn't just during it.
No.
Yeah. Like.
So at this point, I rang James.
Yeah.
And I said, I need you now. And he came over. And when he came in, I was.
James Bean, Angie's sorry.
I was laying on the bed with Mike, cuddled up to Mike. And he came in. I even had my laptop. I was still working. I take my laptop with me now. Surprise me with your very patience.
Yeah.
When they needed me to.
Yeah. No.
So James came in, and I told him what had happened. And then I rang my friend, Tanya. She works at Torbay, and she came in as well. And she managed to get us a private room.
Wow.
Which was great, wasn't it? And we moved in that night. So we moved on the I think it was now the Friday night, we moved into the hospital, onto this side room. And on the Saturday, I had the palliative care nurse came in and said, put her head around the door, she said, can I have a word? And I said, yeah. And I said, Mike's asleep though, can we go to Rush? She went, oh yes. So there was a room around the corner, so we went to the swimming room. And she said, I just need to tell you that Mike's going to go into hospice when he leaves here. And I said, no, he's not. She said, he's going to Rowcroft. He won't be going home with you. He's got about 6 months.
6 months.
So I said, no, he's coming home with me where he belongs. She said, no, Angie, you won't be. And I said, right, at the risk of being rude, I'm now walking out that door.
Yeah.
Because this is not happening.
Yeah.
He's coming home with me. And I went back to Mike, and obviously I never told him. I told James. I couldn't tell anybody else. How could I tell his kids? How could I tell his mum?
Yeah.
I never told anybody. I couldn't share that information.
Especially as my dad was really ill as well. Yeah, so my mum's, like 86, my dad was 88, and he just had his bowel removed. It was a bit of a crap year, really.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't even tell him what was going on, really, because you can't, can you?
I mean, it's just when you say things like that, how many people in that position, on your own, just going through hell and back, just watched your loved one a touch and go, whether they live or die, literally with a brain bleed. You've been up 24 hours, don't sleep. You've carried a 3.5 ton lump or 3.5 stone heavy and guy to there and then to the toilet because he wouldn't use a bedpan. I think it's a selfish personally. You cried your eyes out, so you're just dehydrated. And then someone says, oh, he's going to go to Rowcroft to see end of days. How many people do you think would have just accepted that? And I think there's a lot, personally, that would have just gone,
Yeah,
well,
that's it.
it's so weird. That would have been, I wouldn't be talking to you now, would I? If that had happened at all. And as you probably would have been doing time in prison somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, so many people wouldn't.
No.
I had a wobble. I gave myself a couple of hours. I'm a little wobble and thinking, sitting. What do I do?
So you decided to bring Mike, the athlete, home when you were allowed out. Where do you go from there? So you've just been taken off all medication, nothing else we can do. There's Rowcroft to give you a bit of quality of life before you go. See ya.
Yeah.
You've not done that route. You brought Mike home. What the hell? What? I mean, God, I've tried to even comprehend that situation. It's impossible for me.
I haven't. Wasn't even before when I brought him home. It was before that. So I was in the hospital with him as I was sleeping in the chair next to him.
Yeah.
And I started researching. I remember speaking to my sister, and I messaged because a group of friends, 5 of us, my friends, we've been friends for many, many years, and I was messaging them saying, "This is not happening.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight this. There's things out there that can be done. I'm going to research. I'm going to find this because this is not happening. I'm not going to let him die."
Yeah.
And they messaged me back at 1 o'clock in the morning, and so was my sister. So I had a lot of support for me via tag, but they were very supportive. And I just started researching. And I was talking to people on Instagram, and I've always said, I don't know who they were. This one guy said he was a consultant in America. Was he? I don't know. But whoever he was, he gave me information, which I found the information. I found this carbonated, which is the drug that Mike is now on.
Yeah.
It was a targeted therapy treatment, and it was a clinical trial in America. And I sent this information to the oncologist and a couple of others as well, saying he can do this. This is what you can get him on this.
Yeah.
I got to refer to Royal Marsden to see if we can get clinical trials.
Yeah.
But he couldn't because he had active brain metastasis.
Oh, just quick thing. After the brain bleed, it spread in my brain.
Oh God.
So I didn't just have 2, which were 2 millimeters each. I had 4, which are now 3 centimeters each. Forgot that bit. So that's why they said 6 months, because if it's growing that quick, because that wasn't even the main primary source. The main primary source is
It's the kidney, and the kidney at this point is 17.5 centimetres. It was 11 inch swellings, so now 17.
Riddled with cancer then, basically.
Yeah, I don't suppose. When I was having my thing where they, what's it called, biopsy, I made the mistake of looking on the screen as they were doing it, sticking this thing in me, and they said that you'll hear a click where they take the thing, so don't worry about it. Yeah, fair enough. But as I looked up, I saw this line of what I could only describe as little grapes, but big, long.
Yeah.
Nearly the whole kidney. 17 and a half. Still has it. Yeah, so I thought, oh, that looks a bit serious. You know what I mean? They're carrying back.
So no, these your out names. Yeah, you can't really get any lower, can you?
Not really, no. No, it's pretty serious, I suppose.
Yeah.
So now we're now at home.
Yeah.
And it's come back over me. Rowcroft rang us. They rang you, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm not really ready.
Yeah.
I've decided I want to come to die with you. Yeah, you know, we've only just started this. Or I've lost this round.
Yeah.
But my next round, Angie's working out my plan.
Yeah.
She found cantonabazid, which the consultant didn't offer.
Yeah.
We had to say, this is what she said, this is what you could have, and then she had to agree before I could start with that. Then. Yeah.
So then I'm researching. So I'm on Instagram. And all the spare time I've got, I just research, and I came across this book, How to Starve Cancer.
Yeah.
By Jane McKelland. So Jane McKelland's had cancer twice, and in 2004 she decided no more chemo because the chemo had really made her porridge.
Yeah.
The first time out.
Yeah.
So she found reproductive drugs that starve cancer. It's not about diet, it's about stopping the glucose from feeding your cancer cells, because the main thing of cancer is sugar.
Yeah.
And sugar feeds cancer.
Yeah. One thing, if I may, because when we first chatted and you told me all of this and Mike wasn't there, and you said you've been doing a lot of research, you're a list a mile long of different vitamins, nutrients and antioxidants that you wanted to get into, which was exactly what I would recommend anyone to do. But I remember saying, we talked diet and about how cancers feed on sugar. Mm-hmm. And you said, yes, absolutely, you knew that. And because Mike had lost so much weight, I believe you went to the dietitians and they asked you that. I'll let you.
No, the oncologist firstly said to me, is he getting the calories in because he'd lost weight? And I said, well, yes, this was prior to anything happening.
Yeah.
Give him plenty of cakes, give him ice cream, just give him what he wants, get the calories in. So she's absolutely...
It's like asking a fireman to come and put your fire out with pepper.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
I hear this and it annoys me all the time, and you understood it, and thank God you did, because again, how many people would listen to an bird and go, okay, let's give them more sugar.
They give you Ensure drinks. Ensures are milkshake drinks they give to people. They're full of sugar. And the only thing they say Ensure does is ensure that you die early. So they gave them to me and I said, he's not having them. No. I rang the dietitian at the hospital, a cancer dietitian, and she said, well, there is no data about the diet and the sugar at the moment. So until there is, just give them to him. I said, oh, I'll just kill it.
Yeah. Well, again, testimony for questioning, because people don't. There's this white coat syndrome, whatever you call it, where people go in and they'll just do exactly as they're told. You question stuff, Mike questions stuff. He's gone through these rounds with his life. You know, round one he lost. Let's go round two. Starting to win, you turn the fight round. I love that analogy. It's the first time you told me that. Yeah, and I love that positive analogy that it is. It's great. You've got to, and it's nice that you've got a good corner lady, or a coach and a manager and trainer and nutritionist and supplementation. You've been doing me out of my job, Angie, so I better watch myself. Yeah. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you mentioned feeding, and absolutely, I know we had a right chat about that.
Yeah.
And Pennsylvania's.
But yeah, so that's what we did. So the first thing we did, no more sugar.
Yeah.
So sweet, chocolate.
Yeah.
Anything first class, nothing.
It's surprising what sugar is
It is low.
in everything.
Yeah, sugar. People think milk's good for baby cows. I'm telling you now, and that's kind of it. Yeah, you know, but
Can we change everything around so we have oat milk on sweetened oat milk, unsweetened almond milk?
yeah.
No processed sugars, white sugars, anything white. We have nothing white. Everything is wholemeal. You can have your wholemeal pastas, have your wholemeal rice, organic chicken, organic fish, very little red meat,
Yeah.
very little. Very occasionally you might have it once a month, not even that. I've done that.
Yeah.
And everything I cook from scratch.
Yeah.
I never go and buy a ready meal anymore. Not that I did often, but occasionally one thing I did in Melbourne. Virgin virgin olive oil.
Not yes. So you've then embarked on looking at your diet and adjusting that.
Yeah.
And you were telling me, because you obviously joined Mike to support him.
Mm-hmm.
You have to style us. You did have you did have a stone half to lose, but you look fab on it, by the way. But like, so he's lost the stone half. Mike seemed to have put on weight every time I see him. But I know, believe it or not, you just heard where we were here. Mike's back in the gym. He's back at work day a week. But what's more sickening to me is Mike is entertaining again. And I watched him on social media. Mate, I was knackered watching you. How you'd play 900 instruments, sing, give it a charm, and then the tap didn't sometimes even happen on. I would have been, and I'm fit as you know, I won't be there. I would have been absolutely knackered. I'm like, he's the same guy. Seriously, is this the same guy? Sorry, I interrupted you. So that book, I'll try and get a link or something to it underneath this so people can have it expensive.
They are very expensive. There's 2 of them. But this is about the repurposed drugs. So repurposed blood are them. So Mike is taking metformin, which is a diabetic medication. And what it does is it interrupts the metabolism. So it stops the glucose from feeding the cancer cells. He's on atorvastatin,
Right.
which is, as we know, that is for cholesterol.
Yeah.
But again, that's for the fatty acids, and it blocks the feed for the cancer cells. If cancer cells are blocked from feeding, they will die.
Yeah.
So what we have to do is, so all these treatments, the conventional treatments, will kill your cancer cells, but they don't kill the stem cells.
Yeah.
So what we're doing with these repurposed drugs and all the supplements is killing those stem cells.
Yeah.
You're blocking the feed of cancer, and you will kill the stem cells. It's the growth. You've got to kill the growth. The more you suppress that tumour, so his kidney tumour, the more it is suppressed. Eventually, you keep suppressing something, eventually it's going to wither away and it's going to die.
Yeah.
But there is no growth there because we're killing the growth with stem cells.
So with the
Blocking.
repurposed drugs, I must point out that we have got an oncologist that deals only in that, which is a care of oncology in London.
Yeah.
You have to pay, but it's not massive, ridiculous money, especially if it's your life that it's helping.
Yeah.
So they're prescribed those particular ones.
Yeah.
So
There's also mebendazole as well. Mebendazole is a worming tablet. So I'm sure that people listening have heard of Scott Davis.
Yeah.
So Scott Davis is a guy that is local in Paynton. He's become a friend of ours. Lovely, lovely.
Maybe one to have that's not one of them. Yeah.
Help people. He's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
He come back from, again, like Mike told, you have months to live.
Yeah.
Go home, see your daughter born. That's it. That's what's going to happen. And you're going to die. Well, next, I believe it's February next year, Scott is about to go into 5 years remission. And he beat cancer himself with cannabis, THC, which is taboo subject, I know. However, that's what he used. He used fenbendazole. Fenbendazole is a worming tablet for animals.
Yeah.
And he used mushrooms and curcumin and a few other supplements as well. But he's...
and he's got his website as well. He also has a book as well, which is very informative.
Yeah, he's got Live Oils, which is his website.
Okay, I'll try and get some links for them, for the book and the website, things like that. I'll I'll happily do that.
We're just trying to get this side out now.
Yeah, I think it's important.
To people.
I mean, I've worked in this industry professionally for coming up to 30 years, I think, if not more. And over the years, I've worked met people with cancers, and a lot of them have gone last chance to live. They've tried the conventional methods. It's done nothing but make them worse or ill.
Yeah.
And then they've got to a little health food store and done a bit of research. And the internet, when I started, wasn't even available, so it was no here and there. And I've worked with a cancer research, natural research centre in Bristol for a while, and they were getting some great results. You know, high antioxidants and shark's cartilage and all that kind of stuff. Cannabis wasn't even around back then, and I've done a lot of research into the CBD, and there's a lot of crap around on that, but the good quality stuff that you can get out there, and it's phenomenal the amount of people with your positive attitudes, together with a little bit of knowledge on Mother Nature. To me, is an incredible pharmacist. I think the answers for everything are there if you tap into it, and it's seen through the salesmanship and the bullshit out there that you're gonna get. Oh, cancer will spend anything on cancer. Let's say this will cure cancer, and that's the thing that annoys me, is all these people making money out of it.
There's you've got to be very careful.
Yeah, and a lot of people like Scott doesn't. He's been through it. He's genuine. He does it because it is like what you do in your job. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You care about people. I'm the same. People that are like that, because you can see false people a mile off when you're like that. And I think what you have both done, considering, Mike, all due respect, I shouldn't even be talking to you here. I should have been at your funeral probably 6 months ago, by the sounds of it, thereabouts. And like I say, mate, you're back at the gym. You're both looking phenomenal. You're smashing everything you're doing. I mean, if you were to give any advice to anyone that was diagnosed with cancer all of a sudden, and I've had a situation where people have come into my shop, never met them before in my life, and they don't want to tell their family. So they've come and told me as the first person they've actually opened up to say, Mark, look, don't even know me. I've got, and it's kind of that relief to just told someone. But what would you kind of say to someone who's just been told for the first time, and they're probably thinking, like you rightly said, I'm going to die?
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, conventional treatments have moved on so much since even 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're always moving on. It's difficult because you have to just take time to accept it, and once you've accepted it, you can make a plan.
Yeah.
And where there's hope, where there's hope, you can win. There's so much hope. Even if the oncologist says to you there's no hope, there is, because there's so many people on, like, the internet has some dangerous places, but for one good thing about the internet is all these research sites that you can go on, especially on Facebook. There's hope for cancer. They've got lots of links there where people have stories of being sent home to die, and they suddenly start this metabolic therapy, and suddenly they turn their lives around. So just don't lose hope, basically. That's the first thing. And you can fight it. You can, because if I can, so can it. So
Cancer is a metabolic disease. It's a long-term health condition that you can manage.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it works for everybody. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But it can be managed as a long-term health condition.
You've got to be consistent and just take a day at a time, basically. It's another thing.
Yeah.
Don't look too far ahead. Take a day at a time, face it day at a time. Yeah. And that's what you can do. And if you can throw as much at it as you can, then hopefully you'll win.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do.
You have to take control of it. Do not allow it to take control of you. Don't give it power. Do not allow it to have power in your life. We won't ever allow it to.
We're still fighting. I'm still on daily chemo.
Yeah.
I can train. Some days I go and I don't feel like it, so I listen to my body. I'm used to doing that.
Yeah.
And so you have good days and bad days. But I know in my head that I'm going to kick it. And that's the attitude you have to have.
Yeah. And going down to your 12 rounder,
yeah,
you're winning that one.
I'm up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got I've got a few more rounds left yet, haven't I?
Have, but so the last scans we had, so if you're bearing in mind that so the Cavanagh which is the conventional daily treatment is on, the data suggests that you get to stable disease within 13 months of taking Cavanagh. So Mike started this Cavanagh in February, and we started on March the 6th doing the metabolic therapy with all the supplements from you. You've been amazing. You know, and I've come to you with all this stuff, and you've been fantastic, and helping us as well with massive discounts. I mean, we couldn't have done it without you. Financially is another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes us responsible.
Because if you hadn't been an athlete, well, they didn't have an athlete. Oh, the discounts aren't available to anyone else.
Exactly, I know.
Thank you. Saved me business as well.
One little shop. Yeah, look forward to using much with your help. You've been amazing, and so we started in March, and the first sort of scans after 3 months were stable disease. And things you shrunk. And the next scans were stable disease and active cancer. So if they're saying that chemo gets you to this stage, but the Cavanagh said it's supposed to get you there in 13 months, how come we there in 6 months? Yeah. How does the oncologist work that out? But they don't, because they won't look at it. Oncology, they're not allowed to. This is the thing, there's no data.
The only data is proof of thousands of people sort of living with it or being NED, no evidence of disease. Yeah. And there are so many people on these sites that...
Stage 4 to NED, no evidence of disease.
Yeah. If you look and you do your research, you'll find all these things. And it's not, we're normal people, we're not bullshitters.
No.
Yeah, we're not like, this is working, and that's going to be one of our aims. And I think one of the reasons why I've got this, I always think things happen for a reason. Yeah. So you can like help other people, and Scott's the same. He helps people. Yeah, we're helping people at the moment, and as much as we can, and we'll help anybody. Yeah, you know, if they want advice or if they want protocols. All cancers are different. You know, mine is like fed by glucose, fatty acids, etc. Some are hormonal driven. Yeah. So the protocol for me might not be the same for someone, say, with breast cancer, but there'll be similar. There'll be the same supplements for all of the cancers, but then you might sort of diverse into others, like your mushrooms and your curcumin and stuff like that. They're basic ones.
I would tell anyone, if they've got cancer, get on your mushrooms. Your milk thistle, get your milk thistle, protect your liver. At all costs, you've got to protect your liver. You've got to detox. Yeah. So, detox, infrared saunas, Epsom salt, fast. Oxygen therapy is amazing. So Mike's not having oxygen therapy every 2 weeks. It suppresses the cancer tumours. When you get cancer, you get tired. You get tired because cancer takes your oxygen. Yeah. It makes you tired. You put oxygen back in your body and the cancer's going, whoa, what's happening? And it starts to suppress the tumour because they don't like oxygen. Yeah. And it kills the tumours.
And you get that.
So the MS Society is the Multiple Sclerosis Society in Exeter. They're a charity. And they will give you oxygen therapy. It's £25 we pay. Wow. That's all it is a session.
Nothing. Plus, it makes you look a lot younger.
Really?
The Julie still out on that one.
Yeah, she's jealous. She wants it.
Well, can I just make you know? Well, so the book, Cracking the Cancer Toolkit, is amazing. And this little book tells you what supplements you can use. Yeah. But also, what's on your supermarket shelves. Yeah. What you could buy. All your spices that you put in your curries, your turmeric, your curcumin, your cayenne pepper, your vegetables, your broccoli, your blueberries. Yeah. They are amazing. Yeah. And they kill cancer cells. Yeah.
Antioxidants.
They're antioxidants. Green tea. From green tea.
I think eventually we're going to write all this down. We need the final chapter.
That was my big question. Absolutely brilliant. Because I was going to say with
what you guys, and I've been privy to know you guys for like say 15 years as first customers and then really good friends. And you know, I love you guys like for unconditionally. I think you're amazing people. And that's before all of this. Now you've just gone up an echelon in my respect. And I'd look you both in the eyes and say that. Unbelievable what you've gone through, what I've seen you both go through. I've seen you both at your lows, putting on the brave face, and then the good news days where you don't have to put that, it's a proper face, and then lows again. And, testimony to you for coming in and chatting to me about this. It might help one person.
So it's all the
Wow. And you've got to write a book or do something, guys. You've got to.
We're going to write down. I said to Angie, we need a final chapter because obviously people want to know what's going to happen.
100%.
So do I. With Liz, because the last scan they said it's stable. They couldn't measure anything. Well, that to me, I don't like that. I want to know. I want to know. This lot I've got. Oh, did we turn 3 of them gone?
Oh, you went 6, did it? No, 4.
3 centimetres.
That's right, yeah.
Long. I started with 2.
Yeah.
2 millimetres. Then when I had a brain bleed, so I had 4, 6 centimetres. 3
So that's like about
last scans,
You've got one, which is
on
9
the left, which is 9 millimetres. So something's working.
No.
Isn't it?
Yes. There's another round to you. And
Yeah, it's actually the thing. Well, how are we going to get it? Because I can't drive or ride my motorbike, which, as you know, I bought like 2 days before I got. I was told I had brain metastases, and then I couldn't drive. So I was gutted. I mean, people out there wouldn't understand unless you ride a motorbike. The feeling you get, it's quite. It's good for your mental health. It's good for everything.
And it's our thing. If we go off on the
Oh, and Angie likes coming on the back and everything. So that's a goal. You've got to have goals. That's one of the goals. And I want that last 9 millimetre one to go so we can get back to normal life. Plus, I can't, be sat next to a driver. I mean, have you seen it?
Yeah. Have you got it back like that? No, it ain't true to the story.
Just not easy with it. Don't offer to go have a lift or anything.
Listen, let's mark that. So if there's any angel, what they call Hell's Angel outfits out there, that you give Mike and Angie a patch once it gets clear, because it's a Harley they drive. Drive. God, I'm a biker and I said drive. They ride. I think you guys are an inspiration to people. I genuinely, obviously that's going to help people who have been diagnosed with cancer, struggling with cancers, but even people that haven't. I think that whole mindset and attitude to life and not giving in and not naming it and being there for each other, and that, testimony to you for that. Because a lot of relationships these days, it gets tough and they break. It's brought you together even stronger.
I wouldn't be here as we
No, and the way you're talking about each other behind each other's backs, to me, when they come in, you're just full of love and confidence.
Yeah.
No one does that that cow. But you don't. You're just complimentary, even behind each other's backs. I would have grassed you up anyway, but I think it's brilliant. And I think it would be sacrilege if we didn't do something from this.
Yeah.
And I know you're getting messages from all over the world. And you have your life as well, and you've still got the battle going on and everything else. So
Because Angie knows so much about it now.
Yeah.
As I say, we are helping some people at the moment. But if anyone else wants help, even though she has a full-time job and she looks after, does it, me like a 2-year-old, she does everything for me. But we'll always find time if they get in touch with you or whatever. If anyone wants advice, because let's face it, everyone knows someone that's had cancer.
yeah,
So someone's family, a member, or a friend of a friend. People are getting it all the time. It's more and more. And as I say, there's no age discrepancy, colour discrepancy, child, female, male. It doesn't matter what you are. You can get it. And so if you've got someone giving you a bit of help and hope, and maybe a bit of advice, if wanted, some people don't want it. you know, which is fair enough as well. But if people want help, and we can, we always will, you know. Just say the first thing, stop eating sugar.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That would be the main advice to anybody. Stop eating sugar, processed foods.
Yeah.
Get rid of the class. Don't eat the McDonald's. Don't eat the KFC. I know it tastes nice. Have it very, very occasionally in your diet.
I can have treats. I could at the moment. I don't. But even just for an example, just to have a potato, for your metabolism, is the same effect as drinking a can of Coke. That's how it spikes your metabolism. It's just one roast potato, and that's how it spikes it. Jacket potatoes even worse. But even though they're good for you when you haven't got cancer, but if you have,
Yeah.
it's not. It's a no-no.
Well, I've learned something that I didn't know. That it's good. Would you ever consider putting like a Facebook group or something together just to take the pressure off your own?
You've got to be so careful with
I do. I was all
get sleep and all.
yeah. I mean,
You don't do this and do this diet and you take this supplement. We're not saying that. We're saying there's stuff you can do.
Yeah.
And if you have a book, it's different because it's people's choice. They can say, get the book and read it and make their own decision and do their own research. And that's what you always say, innit? Always do your own.
nobody did it.
Because what we do might not work for someone else.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be consistent.
And I think that's the other thing that we'll come across on this is that none of us are doing this for any ulterior motive. There's we don't get any financial gain out of this. We don't get any sponsorships or anything like that. It's to help people. The common denominator.
If we wrote a book, it's not to get rich.
No.
Because I ain't worked for over a year.
Yeah.
Angie works full time whilst doing all this. I've just started to do the odd gig and odd bit of building the garage. And I've been living off £100 from Pip, you know, a week to pay some bills, you know, or a bill.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, is it? £100. So considering I was like used to earn £50 a year, you know, so this isn't for money. This is like,
And that's the thing, you don't realise, you know, you got diagnosed with this inconvenience of our life. And then, so a month later, so he's carried on working, and a month later he's had to stop work from 7 biopsies, then he's having treatment. And then we've lost £50 overnight.
Yeah.
And you're down to one wage, and you're thinking, what are we going to do? And luckily, we did have life insurance with critical care and cover.
Yeah.
Because if we hadn't have had that, they paid our mortgage for 2 years. But they give you a lump sum.
Yeah.
So they're not actually paying your mortgage every month, they give you a lump sum of money.
Yeah.
But that lump sum of money all my life.
Yeah.
that allows you can't have stress when you're trying to recover from cancer or anything.
Yeah.
You need to concentrate just on that. You can't be worrying about, God, how can I pay the mortgage? Is the house going to get repossessed? The kids can't go on the trip. How can we feed the kids, you know? How can I take them to judo and boxing and athletics? We can't afford to send them dancing. You know, look at people, really double check if you've got a mortgage to start with, if you've got insurance with that mortgage, check it covers critical care, not accident, critical care. Even better if it covers terminal illness, because then your mortgage gets paid off. But that's obviously more expensive monthly. Money's short at the moment, people can't afford it. But how much is your house worth?
Yeah.
Not only that, if you rent somewhere, you still got a family, you've got to pay your rent. Your landlord's not going to go, oh, it's all right, don't worry about it for a year. You know, my mortgage company will pay that. They're not. They're going to go, well, I want my money, you're going to have to get out.
I think, you know, a lot of people like me, because when you mentioned this to me a few months ago, and I've got life insurance with a customer who does all that for me, and I like him because he's a geek and he won't mind me because he's really into it. He's not going to con me. And I thought I had it, and I don't. And the reason I didn't take it out was like, I've got a health shot. I'm unbeaten in the gym. I'm a legend. You know, I'm not having a knee. You're one of the fittest blokes I've known, mate. And that made me go, Christ, yeah. And so everything you've just said there makes now to me 100% complete sense.
God, yeah.
I really do, and I think it's really valuable advice.
You've got to, because to be fair, 3 months, if it had been 3 months earlier, my original insurance, I wouldn't have been paid out because I'm self-employed. The original insurance,
We were sold. Didn't cover him. So after COVID, and we got to buy a few cutbacks, like we all did. So I was looking at things, and I looked at our life insurance, and I said, it's £157 a month. It's a lot of money. I'm going to relook at this. So did a like for like with this guy. I rang him, and he said, well, send out your details and let's have a look at it. So I had a look, and he rang me back, and he said, I could save you £50 a month. He said, but I can tell you now, Mike's not even covered. I said, what do you mean? Is he self-employed? He should got payment protection, employment payment protection.
Yeah.
He's put you're covered. Mike's not covered. It's what you need is critical care cover. And I'm thinking, what, are you going to save us £50 a month? I'm getting extra. And I said, it's up to you, but that's the package what I can offer you. So I said to Mike, oh, I'll take it. It's £50 a month, saving. So I took it.
3 months.
But if we hadn't have done, we would not have been covered.
There's I mean, I'm not religious. There's a power that be. He's obviously looking over you, Xavier, some kind of. Yeah, Sammy. Yeah.
again, if there's just one person that listens to this and says, actually, I'll check mine, let's check it. Or if you haven't got one, you get a critical care thing. If you've got kids, you don't want to be worrying about moving them into like a halfway house somewhere because you've got nowhere to live. Perhaps you haven't got relations that'll take you in.
Yeah.
You know, it's a difficult time as it is. You just don't need that extra.
Yeah.
So that out of anything, I didn't want to tell people that I had cancer on Facebook, but that's the one thing that was playing on my mind about the cover, because people could really come unstuck.
I think again that will make a difference to people's perceptions, lives, and the timid. Yeah, and so I've changed mine because I know I'm not invincible, and things could happen that you said, even me.
You don't know you haven't challenged me yet. So you put that treadmill on the incline and we're seeing sweat, shall we?
I really don't want to treadmill. Listen, is there anything else that, I mean, brilliant little ending. Is there anything else you guys would like to say to anybody or about this thing? So I want to thank you so much for doing this. Honestly,
We're trying to change things. Yeah, I've got a meeting soon.
We're going to meeting with Torbay Hospital with the Care Trust
brilliant.
Board of Directors about cancer, working holistically alongside consultants. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen there. But all I would say is, when you get that diagnosis, do not listen to consultants, because they go to university, they've got everything textbook, they've got the book in front of them, and you've got your chemo, you've got your radiotherapy, you've got your targeted therapy, you've got your immunotherapy. It's not going to work. It's not work. Sorry, go home. Do not listen to them. You see them as God, and you think they're going to get you better. And yet, they can only work with you what tools they've been given. Yeah. You've got to research yourself, because cancer can be managed. Yeah. It can be managed. How long for? None of us know, but how long are any of us here for? We've all got cancer in our body. You're born with cancer. Cancer is not curable. Yeah. Cancer can be managed. So research, just do your research. And you've got to be positive.
Alongside knowledge and things. They're not saying the conventional stuff doesn't work. They're not. You've got to go through the process and then see where you're at the end. Yeah, and if they say to you there's no hope, there is. Yeah.
There is, but when you do have the conventional treatment, you must detox. Detox, Epsom salt baths, infrared saunas, cold therapy, oxygen therapy. You just got to detox your body of all those toxins. Get rid of them, because that's what makes you ill. Yeah. And if you detox, you'll be okay. You'll get through it. Yeah. Stay strong. Stay positive. We don't have a day of not laughing. Yeah. Ever. He'll say to me, I ask him to do something, he'll say, I'm terminal, there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, he's used it as a middle work now. That surprises me.
Does he have a little cancer bell?
Oh, your convenience bell.
Yeah, right. A cancer bell and a magic title.
Yeah, amazing. James said he just because he wants to have bed baths. That's the only same starting.
That's after 9 o'clock, that video. So again, from actually genuinely the bottom of my heart, it is always amazing. And I love you both so much. Thank you so much for doing this. And honestly, like I say, if it hits one person's life, it'll hit a lot more than that. I promise you. And thank you so much again, guys. And I'm sure you'll wish Mike all the best in his 12 rounder. Yeah, my money's on this man. So, guys, have a good Christmas, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.